Over the past year, and especially in the last few months, immigrant communities have faced increasing challenges, including political tensions, shifting policies, deep uncertainty. And in this difficult environment, our conference has continued to listen, advocate, and walk alongside those most impacted. So now I'm delighted to call upon Lisa Rogers and Jeremiah Thompson, leaders of the Immigration Committee, which is part of our Conference Commission on Religion and Race. They have been leading this work for the last year in our conference, and they also attended a national gathering on immigration organized by the General Commission on Religion and Race. Lisa is a layperson at Elmhurst First United Methodist Church, and Reverend Jeremiah Thompson is an elder in our conference serving Malta and the Maple Park Grace United Methodist Church. Please help me in welcoming these two.
Thank you very much. As I'm Lisa Rogers, not Jeremiah, and I am the chair of the Advocacy Partners team, which the Advocacy Partners members are committed to providing opportunities to all of our NIC churches and communities for action-based advocacy that are grounded in the conviction that racism is incompatible with Christian teaching. We started this, yes, it is, yes, very good. This was started in 2023 after we went on this, many of us went on the Civil Rights Pilgrimage, and we're completely inspired to do something. And our vision is to foster collaboration between United Methodist churches, other religious organizations, and advocacy organizations to create access to opportunities that will make real change for people on the margins. And so there are 5 subcommittees of the Advocacy Partners because there's a lot of work to do. And in January, we started, just January, we started, as you can imagine why, we started an immigration team because it is greatly needed, but we have hit the ground running, and so we are really working on planning and working on hearing people. Again, we want to hear what their experiences are, but that's where we are. And so we're going to start with, Jeremiah's going to start us with a little bit of a theological grounding.
Good afternoon, siblings. I have 2 scripture readings I want to briefly read. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34. Any immigrant who lives among you must be treated as if they were one of your citizens. You must love them as yourself because you were immigrants in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And secondly, from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 35, Jesus says, I was hungry and you gave me food to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I won't bore you with all the podcasts and the books that I read, but the reality is humans have been moving around the face of the globe as long as we have been a species. And people have done that for a lot of reasons, sometimes due to wars, sometimes they were forced to move when they had no wish to. Sometimes people had to move because natural disasters made their homeland unlivable for a time, sometimes permanently. Sometimes people moved someplace seeking new economic opportunities. The sad reality is throughout human history, people have often treated new people to their community with hostility. This is wrong. This is sin. It has always been sin. Our living God, first through the Hebrew Bible and then through the Word made flesh, Jesus Christ, called out this sin and said, if you wish to be my followers, you will do differently. To serve the migrants and welcome the migrants among us is crucial to us authentically living out what it means to follow the Word of God.
So the first initiative that we're working on is coming up on June 29th, and it's called Welcoming the Stranger, a Methodist Call to Action, but it essentially is an Immigration 101 program. What we hope to do is give information at a basic level for all churches. Some people are still trying to figure out the difference between a refugee and an asylum seeker, and so we want to start there and progress with people. But so we're going to do this, and I have flyers, and I'm sitting right there. So please come see me after. We're doing it at Kingswood United Methodist Church in Buffalo Grove, but we are also going to do it on Zoom, and we invite people to join with your church to watch. We're also going to record. We're going to record it, and we'll put it on because we just want everyone to have the information that's needed. So we are very interested, and we're very excited about doing it. We're going to be talking about theological grounding. We're going to start there because that's where we should start, and then we're going to be talking about current challenges. And as we know, the challenges are changing almost minute by minute, and so we are aiming to help people find out what are the changes and what do we do about them. I'll give you an example. That people, I'm sure you've probably heard that people are being picked up and detained and then even arrested after their court hearings, figuring they're probably going there to get documentation the proper way. Every person is allowed to have their court hearing by Zoom. So that's the next information we need to make sure we're getting out to our immigrant brothers and sisters, that they know they do not have to show up their court hearings and it will not set them back. And so that's just an example. The kinds of things are coming up all the time. We're going to have a panel discussion with Justice for Our Neighbors, the United Women in Faith, Church and Society, and we're going to be talking about the different things that United Methodist Church is doing already. And then we're going to be hearing personal stories, and I will just tell a little bit of myself and my very new pastor, Pastor Jim Fu, and Marlene, someone from our church, all marched in a peace march on Saturday. If you've heard, in Bensonville, Illinois, they have raided the same apartment complex 6 times, and it is Guatemalan refugees, and they are indigenous, and so they do not speak Spanish or English, and so they don't know their rights. They don't know that they don't have to open the door. When we went there, a child ran out and just asked, "Was ICE here?" And they were so afraid. And we said, no, we're here for you. And the kids came out. They took videos. The adults were cowering out their doors, just peeking at us, just peeking to see if we were friend or foe. And we were just coming over and saying, "Can I throw you the information, the Know Your Rights?" And they seemed happy that they're being seen by someone other than ICE. But as I was here today, I have gotten about 27 messages that they were raided again today. Same people, they're just trying to get those numbers because they open the door, 4 or 5 people in the room, they just take them all. We cannot sit back. And so we want to start with this just basic orientation sort of. Some of you may be well past that and great, but for many people, we need to have a basic understanding, because what we're going to finish it with is, what can we do? We can do everything from starting with prayer all the way to, we're going to Jeremiah's been doing a Know Your Rights program, or you can be on a rapid response team. There's so many things you can talk to your legislators. There are a lot of things that can be done, and so we're going to give you some action, because that's what Advocacy Partners is about, action.
If we can have the next slide, please. I regret that we said designing a pastor's toolkit for this. We want to design a congregation toolkit for you to be able to use. For pastors and lay people, you know your local community. You know the immigrant community in your town, your village, your city. You know the context. We want to come to you. We want to work with you so that you can reach out to the people in your neighborhood. And also, we are painfully aware that not all people who ICE is arresting live east of the Fox River. So no matter where you are in the conference, we want to reach out to you and work with you. We are hoping to do some more of these sort of Immigration 101 events. There's a lot of legal terminology with immigration. We'd like to help people understand that better. We also, because of changes to policy, there can now be raids in a church during a worship service. So there are policies in place. We have templates that your church can use if you are concerned that people coming to worship in your sanctuary might be arrested on a Sunday morning. We've got resources that you can then adapt to your local context. We want to collaborate with UMC pastors, with lay persons, and this is so important, local immigrant populations. Far too often when we try to do advocacy, we think we're doing it for someone and we forget to do it with them. We can, and I'm starting to organize Know Your Rights presentations so people do know their rights. Also, Know Your Rights presentations for bystanders. If you see people being arrested, ways that you can help them. We want to help you. We want to meet with you, and we want to be a resource so that you can care for the immigrant who lives among you. Please be in contact with us. This is a new effort. We know that we have a lot of work to do. We want to be at work across our conference.
And to that end, on this flyer that I have, there's a place to sign up for doing this workshop. And then also I put a place on there that just has a brief place where you can give your email and your information, and then asking, because I've been hearing some people talking about some amazing things they're doing in their churches. If we can get that somewhere on record where people can then reach out and say, like, oh, someone was talking about there were some microaggressions happening at their church toward their pastor. And so they held a panel, and they had okay, well, that happens at your church. Maybe we could connect you with them. This is a connectional denomination, which is awesome. We need to use that. And so we want to get either, this is the kind of advice or information I'm looking for, or this is something that has worked for us, and we'd love to share that. And so there is just a place on here. I promise you, I'm not going to make you do anything. You're not signing up for anything, but just to tell us your story, or tell us what you're doing or what you need, because we really want to help bring people together. That's the only way we can do this, and it's very important that we do it. And so there is a resource page on the site, on the Northern Illinois Conference site. I think there's a QR code right there. We are continuing to update it, but it has things like how to have courageous conversations, how to host Know Your Rights trainings, becoming an immigrant welcoming center, the information that Jeremiah was just talking about. We have a United Methodist Church ICE policy, and we've also come up with a bystander script that says things like, if you're standing there, I think I'd be kind of nervous if I saw law enforcement of any kind in front of me. You can just go right down the script. I do not consent to you entering this building. Do you have a federal judicial warrant? Things that you can ask that will enable you to protect the people that need to be protected in your buildings and in other spaces as well. So we really hope that you'll check out these things. It's here right now, this minute. We could be doing something right now, so we just really need everyone to work together to try and help our neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your good ministry.